Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Two Qs in a Pod, joined by my co-host, John Webb. How are we doing today, my friend?
Can't complain when you're 3-0. You know,
No, 20th
when
in the country.
when you're starting to see tweets that show your percentage chance to make the college football playoff. I've never seen that in my life. So it's fun. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's fun.
It is. It's fun. I actually sent a text to a group of friends yesterday. It's Vandy's 11-1 to make the playoffs, which I think is still incredible value. Granted, that is far from where they are today, but I think 3-0 and 5-0 start is the right path. So we'll see. I got that number at 25-1 before the season. So I just keep rolling with this train. I think Clark Lea's got this team with a great mindset in terms of I think a lot of locker rooms will get confident, and I don't know that Clark is letting that happen to this group. I think they are a confident group, but they're also not going to sleep on Georgia State having lost to them last year. So hopefully they show up and show out on Saturday, and I'll be in attendance.
Yep, likewise. And I do think you're right. It actually helps that we lost to them last year because it doesn't allow you to overlook them. Doesn't matter if they're worse than they were last year and we're better than they were. It doesn't matter. We're out for revenge, which is exciting. Hopefully we keep the same mindset the next 2 weeks, but you can't get to 12-0 without starting 3-0. So,
Right.
see where we go from here.
Man, I don't know if Vanderbilt went undefeated, I would probably cry real tears.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we'd be doing this podcast from a penthouse in Miami is probably what would happen because we'd be making a lot of money as some good underdogs.
Yeah.
But we'll get there when we
Yeah,
get
you're not
there.
wrong. So let's recap. Obviously, we started off hot with recapping Vanderbilt's victorious win in South Carolina last week. Obviously, knocking out Lenore Sellers early on in the second half, but we were winning 14-7, and honestly, we were pretty dominant up front, which is something that I haven't seen Vanderbilt do is control the line of scrimmage. In these past two games, they have made the opposing team quit by the fourth quarter, as well as dominated the offense and the defensive line, which I think is you have to win games.
Couldn't agree more. It's been very exciting to see what we've done. Our defense has kind of stepped it up. The one place where we're struggling is the opening scripted drive. Other teams are moving the ball very easily, but it feels like we make some quick adjustments and or other teams are not adjusting as well after that scripted drive. So at least it's not the other way around where everything else is working and just the first drive's working. But I'll tell you what, we've got some pretty good scripted drives too. Our first drives have been spectacular. I feel like we've faced maybe one third down and had some easy scores. So it's been fun to watch.
Fun team to watch. Well, there was phenomenal games all across the country. Starting off with the early slate, Georgia-Tennessee was a phenomenal game. One of the better games I can remember in Neyland. It kind of gave me deja vu of when Tennessee beat Alabama when Bryce Young was there. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, and it was back and forth, and it was basically who gets the ball last. And that's kind of the feel I had in this Georgia game. I know Georgia went down early, and Joey Aguilar looked like a superhuman, and I'm a big fan of his, but I think he obviously outplayed himself starting, 16-16 or 17-17. It was absurd.
That was great.
Speaking of a game script, they came out firing on all cylinders. But the game, nonetheless, was overall a fantastic game. Obviously, overtime thriller. Feel bad for the kicker, but hey, that's your one job and you couldn't do it. So how bad can I feel?
Yeah, football is always funny to me, and I have lots of respect for kickers, but it's just strange that you get really like 59 and a half minutes of guys going at each other and trying to hit each other, and everyone doing a lot
violent
of things.
game.
It's a violent game, and then it all comes down to this one guy who doesn't even come to team practices and does their own thing, and then eventually comes in. It's like, hey, will you win us the game? It just is. It's a wild concept. Football's funny, man. But that was tough. I think, but I learned a lot from both teams. One, Georgia's resiliency there, and I think their offense was pretty good. Their defense was obviously not that stout, but it got there. And then Tennessee looked great offensively and then just sputtered a little bit in the second half. But either way, it was a great football game. Either team could have won that. It feels like Tennessee probably should have won that. But it was not surprising that Georgia won that game pretty easily in overtime.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up one too. Yeah, I know you were about to say it, but Clemson. turns out they're not very good.
No.
I every year I feel like I try to convince myself that they're back to what they were, and I mean they're still fine. Don't get me wrong, but fine is not good enough to be a great team, and I just don't understand why offensively they feels like they have some good pieces, and I feel like their quarterback. I like Cade. I think
Mm,
it confuses me.
I'm
I
not a
know
Cade guy.
they had two bad turnovers, and
Bad.
I think that's the difference in the game is turn the ball over. He had a fumble and an interception, and the interception was an incredible play by Georgia Tech, I will say, but it doesn't matter. You just can't do those things when you're already struggling to score. When you turn the ball over in the red zone or wherever it may be, it just makes football hard. And so um, I think they're out of the conversation for the year. I just don't think they can recover from this. I don't think they should recover from this. I don't think you can have two losses in the ACC. And again, I know one of them was to LSU and one of them's to Georgia Tech, but I don't see two teams coming out of the ACC. So I'm putting the X on them.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's phenomenal games all Saturday long. And to start off, I apologize. I gave you the bad pick with Wisconsin Badgers. That offense was atrocious. Yet again, they had a chance to cover through an interception late in the red zone, so that was brutal. But moving on to the later slate, Texas A&M winning the game, so that was an underdog money line. We both hit on.
Job.
Phenomenal work. Vanderbilt, we already touched on, so another underdog winner. And then the other two that were close but no cigar, Arkansas covered. I had 7.5. I don't know what that line ended up closing at, maybe 5.5. They won 4.5. So
they
it's a brutal beat.
The closing line they did not hit. But if
That's
you listened
brutal.
to us and got it early, then you covered.
Right. So that was a great cover. And honestly, should have won the game. They had a chance to go win it at the end. Fumbled going in Ole Miss territory. And then the fourth one of that underdog round robin I had was Florida, which, goodness gracious, DJ Lagway. He's more like DJ Ukulele. That guy is just a turnover
Couldn't have said it
machine.
better myself. I that blows my mind still. I mean, if you would have told me that LSU put up 20 points, I would have felt pretty good. And
Yeah,
the
very
fact
good.
that I think a few of those were on defense or were at least resulted 5 interceptions. If you were to tell me he was point shaving, I mean, yeah,
I'd believe it.
I think we investigate. Nobody even needs to tell me. I'm pretty certain that's what's happening.
Yeah, but I also, and again, I admire DJ Lagway sticking it out. I mean, you could quit. He might have even gone up to the coach and said, "Hey, like, take me out." But throwing 5 interceptions is like admirable in the fact that you have to go out there and continue to try and compete and miserably fail at your job
In a close game. It's not like it was a blowout. So, yeah, I guess so. I've never met anybody who says, "Coach, take me out." But I hear you. I mean, you get to a dark place when
Have you
throw
ever
your
thrown 5
third.
picks in a game?
No, but I've gotten close.
I haven't.
I got close one time, and I don't really want to talk about it. But yeah, no, it's a dark feeling. I mean, even 2. Thankfully, that didn't happen too much either. But you throw 2, and it's like it starts getting in your head, and then if you start second
For
guessing
sure.
throws, it gets really dangerous. You have to have conviction in what you're seeing, and if you don't believe what you're seeing anymore, then I see how it happens and it spirals. But goodness, don't throw 5.
Yeah, 5 was one too many. And the only game that I'll touch on that I didn't actually bet, but shout out to my good buddy Charlie with the backdoor of Northwestern at home against Oregon.
Me too. Yes,
Phenomenal backdoor cover there.
Oregon
Late touchdown
most bet team of the weekend. Everyone feeling really good about it. Great job by the Wildcats.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was working on a Wisconsin backdoor cover, and Charlie's over here texting me about, dude, I need Northwestern, and I was like, well, you kind of did it to yourself by betting on Northwestern. But again, they put up 300 yards. They made Wisconsin's offense look amateurish. So
Yeah,
again,
Wisconsin
I was the one at
deserves no
fault.
more time on the podcast.
No, we'll see. But yeah, that's all I got for this past week. If you have any other comments on these recent slate, and then we can get into
No,
this weekend because we got. Go ahead.
my last thing is the South Florida Dream Run start to the season finally ended. Miami looked incredible. They might be the real deal. We'll see. They have an interesting line and play against Florida this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. But impressed by what Carson Beck is doing there so far. Go ahead.
Agreed.
don't know.
So this upcoming weekend starts off hot tonight. We have the Rice Owls traveling to Charlotte on a nationally televised game, ESPN. Something funny over there, John Webb.
That's an interesting way to put it. I don't know if anybody else is as excited about the Rice Owls being on Thursday Night Football, but goodness, I am. So good.
There's football on TV.
Yeah,
so
you're right. You're right.
Real ball knowers will be watching, and
You're
real ball
absolutely
knowers will know that Rice's head coach Scott Abel came from Davidson, led the country in offense there for 2 years straight. So it's kind of a return home, back to Charlotte. And honestly, Rice is pretty miserable to watch. They run a triple option, so I can't say I'm super ecstatic, but there is football on. And granted, if Buffalo-Miami turns into a blowout, you got college football. So
Yeah.
I won't be betting the game. I'll be watching as a fan. But talk to me about your picks. If you want to get into the weekend and start off with your bronze pick, go ahead, fire away.
Yeah, I think there are a few matchups to watch. I'm going to start there real quick. Texas Tech at Utah, I think we'll have a lot of people engaged. I think SMU at TCU is actually a sneaky, pretty good game. I don't know how
Texas Tech, Utah, what time is that kick? 9?
It is at 11 a.m., which is, it's 10. I
But
think it's
where
10
they're
a.m.
playing?
Utah time. I don't understand why they're doing that. It doesn't make any sense, but welcome to the Big 12.
That's absurd.
Yeah. Michigan, Nebraska could be a pretty good one. I think there were a few in the evening too. South Carolina, Missouri. I am fascinated by this one, and we'll touch on it. But Florida, Miami, Illinois, Indiana. Those are kind of the main ones. Arizona, Baylor. But Sean, I'm going to start us off with our bronze pick, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, fire away.
I was debating because a lot of these games I'm intrigued by, but I'm going to go with my bronze pick is a play that I mentioned, SMU at TCU. TCU's offense, I think, is good. I think Josh Hoover can really spin the ball. But I do think that SMU still has an incredible offense in Kevin Jennings. They move the ball really well. I don't really trust TCU's defense fully yet. They haven't played a whole lot of anybody. And it's kind of a must-win for SMU now that they have one loss. So I'm going to be taking SMU plus a touchdown. Hopefully you can get it at 7.5 still. That is my bronze play of the week.
I like it. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be backing the ponies in that one. I like Josh Hoover. I think he can spin it. And it's really going to come down to can SMU get stops, because I'm not sure. And you like Kevin Jennings, and I think you have a soft spot for SMU, but I don't see SMU putting up 30. And maybe they do. And then obviously they'll cover 7. And since you're on that side, I'll be a SMU pony for the weekend. I can't say that I'll be betting on TCU, but that's a good bronze pick. I'm going to follow suit with my bronze pick being a 7-point underdog, but this team is at home, and they are 3-0. This is the Memphis Tigers against Arkansas Razorbacks. I am a big Sam Pittman guy. I like Taylon Green a lot. But if you're going to give me a team that's been rolling, they're 3-0, and usually I like to pick against teams who are 3-0 against the spread. But Memphis has really, really come out hot to start the season, and I like that roster. At home, plus a touchdown. Give me the points.
Yeah. I don't have a dog in that fight yet, so but naturally I'll put a leash on yours and I'll join you. With my silver, I am going to go to Missouri. I'm going to take South Carolina.
Wow.
I will say I kind of cheated a little bit in that I got it at 13.5, bought it to 14.
Is Lenore Sellers playing?
I have a good feeling from some things I've heard that he will end up playing. I know he has been trying to have a full day of practice this week, so I'm going to say I'm not 100% sure, but I am betting it as if I am 100% sure. So I believe he will play. I think they know they need a bounce back week. I'm not sold on Missouri. I think Missouri should have lost to Kansas. I think Bo Perbula is a decent quarterback, but I just don't think their offense is incredible. Strong. He is very strong. I saw that video of him power cleaning yesterday too.
Yeah.
But I think that when you look at the reason the spread is what it is, and it makes sense, the relative rankings, that they use, the relative strength is not in the favor of South Carolina. They got blown out at home to Vanderbilt. They had a tough game against Virginia Tech, who then gets blown out against Old Dominion. So they don't really have good relative ratings, and I think it is a little bit out of whack there. I think they're a better team than they've shown, and I think they come out and maybe get a sneaky money line win.
That would be something. That'd be juicy. That would be fun. I will definitely be tailing with you. Although if Lenore Sellers is out, I basically am just burning money.
Yeah,
that
yes.
backup quarterback is not ideal. Well, that's a good bronze pick. I'm gonna follow suit. Call me crazy. Oh, silver pick. What do they call insanity? Is doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna be taking the Florida Gators again.
Oh man, yes.
Plus 7.5. That line should be 40. Florida is not good. Billy Napier should have been fired last year. He's had way more of a longer leash than Dan Mullen was ever granted. I think they have to turn around at some point. And if Vegas believes that this line should be 7.5, then I will be on the Florida Gators plus 7.5, and most likely money line.
I 100% agree with you. I think Florida's actually really talented. I think their defense has some really great players. I think their offense has the potential to be really great. I'm confused, and the only thing we can point to is the head coaching situation. I have some sources I've talked to within the Florida program that have said that they really dislike their coach. I don't think Napier is going to last much longer. And even if he starts winning, I just find it hard to believe that he can regain the trust of that locker room. That being said,
well, you do it by winning, I think.
Players want to win. It's not like you want to lose. So
right.
Give me the Florida Gators. I agree with you. I think it's a rivalry game. I think it's going to be a fun, great contest. And give me the touchdown. I think, once again, may even sneak a little money line in there.
I love it.
I'll go with my gold is it's a Big 12 matchup. It is two teams that had, I think, a good bit of hype coming into this year. Arizona State obviously coming off their season last year. I think they were ranked decently highly before they lost to Mississippi State. Now they're unranked, which is quite the fall from grace. But I think that Sam Leavitt is a competitor. I really like him. I think he's having a little bit of a sophomore slump, and it's hard when you don't have one of the best running backs in college football on your team too. But I am a big fan of this Baylor offense. I think Sawyer Robertson should be in the Heisman conversation at the end of the year. I think that Baylor has a chance to win the Big 12. I believe they should have 2 losses right now because they definitely should not have beaten SMU, but they did, and they're going to carry that over, and they are going to win at home as a 2-point favorite. I'm probably going to be more on the money line because it's only minus 130, but give me the Baylor Bears.
I love that pick. I probably will stay far away from it. But it's going to be a really good matchup, and I'll definitely be watching. For my gold pick, Vanderbilt Commodores, minus 27.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I understand that they're 3-0 against the spread. Georgia State's 0-3 against the spread, so this is a great spot to take the Georgia State team here. But honestly, I think this is a different Vanderbilt team than we've ever seen. And as we saw last year, I don't know that Vegas does a really good job of capping Diego. And I think, honestly, should be bigger than a 4-touchdown spread. So I'm going to go ahead and advise you take it at 27.5 before it gets to 28. I do think that Vanderbilt comes out with an arrogance to them that they lost to this team last year and they want to dominate them from this first snap. So give me the Commodores minus 27.5 is my gold pick this week.
I'm just going to let everybody out there know that is a big deal coming from Sean, because I think one of his favorite things is going against the trend. So if a team's 3-0 against the spread, it's unlikely they go 4-0 against the spread.
Right.
And Vandy is 3-0, and this is their chance to go to 4-0. So if you're going to say it, I'll buy in. I'm right there behind you. I agree. I think there is a revenge factor that is here, and I was hoping to get to stay away from this one, but I know I won't be able to. I'll be there with you. We're going to be all in. I'll join you.
We're going to make so much money. It'll be the last leg of our parlays of the day.
Yes.
I want to touch on a couple other games. I don't know what side I'm going to be on, but there are a few. Illinois at Indiana. Illinois is the 9th team in the country. Indiana is 19. Indiana is 6-point favorites. What do you make of that at home?
I don't need to know anything about the teams. All I need to know is the line, and that means I'm taking Indiana at home.
Indiana.
And I feel great about it. And I know, Sean, you're going to get so mad at me, but at least it's not a teaser. But do you mind if I share just one of my thoughts with the group here?
Go ahead, as long as it's not a teaser.
It's not a teaser, but it is a parlay.
And it's going to be heavy favorite money line parlay. I feel it coming.
It's going to be a medium favorite money line parlay, but Indiana's going to win at home. They're going to win at home. You can quote me on that one. I don't know anything about their team. I don't care to know anything, but I know I'll have a green slip at the end of that game.
Yeah.
The second one that we're putting with it is Oklahoma at home against Auburn.
I like that.
I think Oklahoma's great. I do think Mateer's getting quite a bit of hype right now. I think he deserves it. I think Jackson Arnold, and I feel so bad saying this because I do not know him. He might be a great person. I think he's a very bad quarterback. And when I say quarterback, I mean the actual having to throw the football. I think he's a bad quarterback. I think OU's going to force him to win with his arm. And if he does it, I will tip my cap and say congratulations. I'm sorry. But y'all won't be sorry if you tail that money line parlay. It's going to be great.
Yeah, actually, I am on it. I will go take that once we get off here because I think Auburn at home, Indiana at home, favorites, I'll ride it.
Oklahoma at home, yes. Against Auburn, yes.
Yes, that's right. John Mateer. I would not want to bet on Jackson Arnold, as you just said.
Yeah. So that's it. Let's get to the NFL.
All right. Well, that's it for the college football slate, and I'll let you kick us off, kind of recap and what's to come of the NFL.
NFL continues to surprise a little bit. I was fortunate to be unfortunate but fortunate. Unfortunate for my heart rate and all the health effects that came from it, but fortunate to see a wonderful game at the Cowboys-Giants game that saw 41 points be scored in the fourth quarter, with the majority of those coming in the last 2 minutes. I've never seen anything like what I saw there. Cowboys were able to come out of there with a good win. And then
phenomenal game.
Yeah, it's a crazy game. Turns out the Bears are still the Bears, and the Lions are still good at offense. So all the Ben Johnson scare of week one being gone, I think they're going to be okay. Let's see, what else? The Jets are still terrible, unfortunately. I was on the Jets getting 6 points against the Bills, and I think the Bills recovering within 4 minutes of that game. It was not a lot of fun. And the Packers are the real deal. That's my takeaway from the weekend.
Yeah, similar. I had a really good early slate. I parlayed the Niners money line and the Lions money line. Just basically, again, that was Dan Campbell versus Ben Johnson. I think that there's probably some beef in that locker room or in those locker rooms, and so I thought Detroit was going to come out after a sloppy week one. And similar to that, I just will be fading the Saints and Spencer Rattler all year. I really like Kellen Moore as a coach, but again, when you're kind of handcuffed when you're forced to put Spencer out there as your starting quarterback. So it started off great. Was massive on the Chiefs. And if Mr. Pfizer got his head around, catches the ball, I think the Chiefs win that game. But unfortunately, that's not what happened, and led to an interception on the 1 yard line, and Philly kind of ran away with it after that. But unbelievable backdoor cover by the Panthers all while that was happening. So it came down to what was an awesome and free bet of the Atlanta Falcons on a Sunday night. And I don't really want to talk too much about Monday night, but
I know I wasn't going to make you.
It was the last leg of almost every parlay I had over the weekend, and as we just touched on, college football Saturday was pretty good for us. Sunday was solid outside of the Chiefs, and then all I needed was the Houston Texans to win at home, and unfortunately they couldn't get that done. So
I'm not sure.
Hat off to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he's a freaking competitor, man. He's great.
Love the guy.
It doesn't matter what's going on in a game. If he has a chance to win it, he's probably going to.
Yeah.
I mean, we were sitting right next to each other. We tried to do everything we could to will the Texans to win, and somehow we just knew it wasn't enough, even when it was 4th and 10, and you send the perfect delayed blitz there to fill in the hole exactly where Baker wanted to go, and you got to make that tackle. That's all. But that was tough.
It's a perfect green dog scenario where it's man-to-man. Toa was having the back stays into block, so he now turns into a blitzer. And if you turn into a blitzer late, your job is to contain the quarterback. And so keeping that rush lane, I mean, he ran right by him, and I still have nightmares about that play.
Yeah, I saw some construction workers posting on Twitter that some of their buddies, and they sent pictures, could make that play. And I actually agree with them. I think that I think the stat I saw was that 72% of all men could make that tackle, which is usually I don't buy those stats. I'm going to buy that one. I think it's about right. But last thing I'll touch on there. I mean, I actually think I had a decent slate. Thank because of the Falcons. My biggest plays were the Texans. We talked about that. It's depressing. Colts were a great one. They're a great surprise to start the year. Turns out their team is actually pretty decently good, and turns out New York Giants can ruin anybody. Daniel Jones looks like he's actually pretty good at football, so good for him in his second chance here.
Yeah,
I,
happy for him. Good guy.
I think the Chargers also deserve a little bit of respect. Not that the Raiders are as good as some people wanted them to be, but Justin Herbert looks incredible this year. Uh,
It's
I,
because he's
I,
dating Madison
I,
Byer.
I literally I think that's right. That's all. I mean, my wife knew
He
nothing
has,
about him until he started dating her, and it's like, oh, that's the guy who dates Madison Beer, and I'm like, no, that's not
yeah,
what he is. But yeah, sure. And I guess he's 2-0 since he's
yeah,
done it. So um, good for her. Good for him. Good for her. But they look great.
yeah. They've been playing chess together, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Chess buddies.
Yeah. Uh, we've got a pretty interesting slate, so I don't have anything else. As soon as we brought up the Texans, I went back into a
Understood.
deep state of
Yeah.
depression. So let's move on.
Yeah. Fair.
So this coming weekend tonight, starting off, Buffalo, Miami division game, a lot of points. I won't be betting on the Dolphins, but if anybody were to ask me, I would say you should take the points in a division game. It's a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Dolphins actually, I mean, it feels like this is their last chance to show that they have any sort of life. And I don't like ruling teams out this early in the NFL. It's a long season, but it's more
Right.
of a pride thing. I think in order for them to have any momentum going forward, they have to show something in this game. So this is kind of the do or die, in my opinion. So I will be on the Dolphins as well. I think that I think that I think the let's see the Steelers Patriots is an interesting game. The Patriots had a good rebound yesterday or the other day, and I'm not really sure how the Steelers are. Rams Eagles one is one I'm really excited about. I think the Rams come out and get revenge for the playoff game and at least cover the spread there.
Yeah, they're gonna make a 60 for 60, 30 for 30 on me, going broke, betting against Philly.
Yeah, me too. I mean, me too. And it's just funny. You know this better than anybody. I didn't bet on the Chiefs once the last 4 or 5 years when everyone's been
Yeah,
taking them. And then I finally get the first opportunity the other day, and look what happens. So
and they
uh,
screwed you.
I'm proud of everybody else for winning money on them. I've successfully lost a lot, and now the Eagles are my new Chiefs, and I can't bet
Yeah,
on them,
same.
and I keep fading them, and it's not working yet, but it will.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, I'll go ahead and start us off. Some of my favorite picks. One being the Dallas Cowboys on the road at Chicago. I think Dallas is going to continue to progress. Obviously, they looked good week one. Took it to the wire against the Eagles. Um, they've played two division opponents. Both obviously interdivision is a tough matchup. You know those guys so well. So uh, I think this is going to be a relief seeing a Chicago team that has not looked great to this point. So give me Dallas. And the other games that I'll be touching will be the Broncos on the road, fading
Yes.
the 2-0 Chargers.
Yep.
I'll be with you on the Rams. And I think I'm going to heavily bet on Jake Browning to cover 3 points at Minnesota. I'm a big fan of his. Big believer.
Wow. That I actually I don't hate that. I mean, when you look at the weapons that they have, and he's a seasoned vet, he played pretty decently
Right.
well. Um, I think that he can surprise people, but I do also think that Carson Wentz might have a decent time in that Minnesota offense too. They also have some fun weapons. They have some great schemes. So I think it'll actually be a good football game with two backup quarterbacks. That
Yeah,
usually that's one
agreed.
you never want to watch. I think that's going to be a fun one.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't think there's not a whole lot else I love just off the bat. I agree with everything you said. I mean, unfortunately, I'm going to be on the Texans again, probably against the Jags, even though I kind of like that Jags team. But Broncos are going to be one of my favorites. Cowboys, I'm terrified by, considering that line's only one. Uh, but
Yeah, I
I
would
know
open as a
that
Bear favorite.
I think my biggest play will be and once again, I apologize to everybody else out there because this is not what you should do, but a little Chiefs Ravens money line parlay. for the Sunday Monday night combo.
I don't know about that. I will be taking the Detroit Lions. I'll buy that to 7.
That's fair.
I mean, this could be the Super Bowl matchup. It very well could be Baltimore-Detroit.
Could be. And, if that happens, I will once again have a money line parlay with the Ravens.
That's good to know, John. Well, I appreciate your time today, hopping online and talking ball. And best of luck with the bets, and look forward to watching the Commodores in person with you Saturday.
Can't wait. Anchor down.
All right, brother.